This might actually be the greatest YouTube video of all time. The MrBeast Squid Game has completely blown up. It's on course to hit 100 million views in under 4 days. But these numbers are only possible because MrBeast knows something that very few people do about going viral. In fact, the more I looked into this upload, the more I realized that this wasn't just a crazy high budget idea. This was a masterclass in how to make the perfect YouTube video. In this video, we're going to break down the 3-step formula MrBeast used to break YouTube. A little later, I'll go through some of the super smart tactics Jimmy used to get his video promoted to so many people. But the real genius is in the editing, which takes us on to step 1. MrBeast hardwires the viewer to keep watching. It's pretty much impossible to go viral on YouTube if you can't keep people on your video after they click. And that's why the top YouTubers place so much emphasis on audience retention. The goal is to hook the viewer from the first second to the last second. So how does MrBeast do this? Well, let's take a look at his techniques in action. Watch these first 30 seconds closely.
I recreated every single set from Squid Game in real life, and whichever one of these 456 people survives the longest wins 456 grand.
The first game we're gonna play is red light, green light, and they have 30 minutes to cross the red line on the other side of the huge room.
So without further ado, green light.
Within 16 seconds of the video starting, we are already in the first challenge. This is what makes Jimmy so special. Take this Squid Game from James Charles, for example. It was good, but it took 4 minutes and 40 seconds for the first actual game to start. So why does this matter? The truth is, even for a channel the size of MrBeast, a huge percentage of his potential viewers are casuals, not dedicated superfans. Casuals don't have time for waffle or over-explanation. They want to see what they clicked for. MrBeast's goal is simple. Don't waste their time, deliver right away. Another really interesting thing happens just a few seconds later.
Red light. And as you can see, every single player has a device strapped to them that when they're eliminated, it pops.
This might seem simple, but it's the perfect example of show don't tell. He could have explained how this device worked at the start, but let's be honest, that's a little boring. By waiting until it had demonstrated live, it makes for much more engaging viewing. He puts action in front of context. We can't really go any further without talking about the pace. It's relentless. In these first 30 seconds, there were 30 separate cuts. This pace is carried throughout the video. Just look how fast he transitions between the games.
If you look at this TV, you'll see that only 232 of you survived. If you look above your head, you'll see the $456,000 you're competing for. And now let's move on to Honeycomb.
Here's the key though. It's almost impossible to keep this pace up for the whole video. And if he did, it would feel too fast and probably get quite repetitive. So in the edit, MrBeast strategically places breather moments within the action. For example, sections like these between games, where we get the players' reactions. What ends up happening throughout the video is an alternation between fast and slow. 1 second the video is fast and tense, the next there's an awkward pause or a joke for comedic relief. This keeps the viewers on their toes, and it stops the video feeling too linear. And then there's the golden moments, the glass bridge scene. In my opinion, this is the best 5 minutes I have ever seen on YouTube. It starts slow, and then as the time ticks by, the tension builds. The way this tension is extenuated in the edit is super smart. As the scene develops, the cuts get faster, the music builds, and sound bites like these are left in to emphasize the time pressure.
You guys better hurry up! They have 2 minutes. Why are they not rushing?
If you go, I'll take the next ones.
All right, come on. All right, you jumping?
Y'all really got me scared, but hold up, bro. This is a real life decision.
90 seconds. 1.5 minutes.
Come on now, come on.
6. Jump.
Jimmy even manages to include some character development by frequently focusing on number 67 and 456. This intentionally creates subplots. We want to see how long these characters really last, as they are such big parts of the Netflix original.
Why did you pick this one?
Just like the middle.
Basically, you don't think it's Umbrella. Umbrella, did you even watch Squid Game?
Pretty nervous over here.
Even though you got the star, you're the main character, so you have plot armor, you're fine. Yeah.
No way of rigging it, but 456 and 067 both survived tug of war.
There's a reason all this effort is so important. A few years ago, the algorithm shifted to focus on what YouTube calls viewer satisfaction. All watch time is not created equal. YouTube needed a way to separate a good 25-minute video from a great 25-minute video. They measure this with a number of different data points such as surveys and video engagement like shares. This rewards creators who go the extra mile. In 2021, you need to over-deliver to the viewer, and that's exactly what MrBeast did. However, even with all this considered, the video would underperform if he didn't get step 2 right, making the most clickable video on YouTube. There are plenty of videos out there that over-deliver and have great editing, but no one ever sees them, because they fall at the most important hurdle, the click. A huge part of MrBeast's rise on YouTube is consistently getting the title and thumbnail spot on. So what's so special about this one? Let's start with the title. Simplicity is the key here. It's just 33 characters long. You already know lots of other YouTubers would have created some monstrosity like this. A good title says what it needs to say in as few characters as possible. The amount of money was obviously inspired by the original Netflix show, but it actually works perfectly here. The 4, 5 and 6 is easy to read and it gives the video instant credibility. An alternative option could have been I played Squid Game in real life, but this isn't focusing on this video's unique competitive advantage, which is the fact that they were actually playing for a life-changing prize. This adds high stakes to the video before even clicking. There's even more to break down in the thumbnail. The first thing I think is really smart is it appeals to 2 separate audiences, MrBeast viewers and Squid Game viewers. Jimmy is obviously a large part of the image, but he doesn't dominate it. He includes possibly the 2 most recognizable elements of the Netflix show, the green jumpsuits and the giant doll. Also notice how Jimmy is wearing a pink jumpsuit here. In the video he's dressed in black, but this just wouldn't pop out as much against the thumbnail backdrop. I also love the contrast in expressions. You have the excitement of MrBeast compared to the fear and stress of the competitors. This already creates a storyline in the viewer's head. Like most of his videos, you click for the moment. But let's be real, all this is important, but plenty of other YouTubers could do similar. What pretty much no one else can replicate is the shock value. Actually having 456 competitors is an incredibly striking image. MrBeast's strategy is combining a great thumbnail design with his competitive advantage as a YouTuber. So now we have an amazing video with a great title and thumbnail, but here's where we encounter a problem, which takes us on to step 3, the promotion. One of the most proven ways to blow up on YouTube is by covering trends, often called trendjacking. And everyone knows Squid Game has been possibly the biggest trend in 2021. But technically MrBeast was late to the party. Squid Game had all but died down and dozens of other large channels had beat him to it. And that's when his strategy became so important. The hype started with this TikTok. For all we know, MrBeast could have posted this knowing it was going to get 10 million likes. He might have already had the idea. But by doing this, it shifted the dynamic away from him saying, hey, I'm gonna make a video, to millions of people demanding he makes that video. In the business world, people call this demand marketing, and this is where the hype began. Over the following weeks, MrBeast continuously teased out images of the sets as they were being built. Each one building more and more anticipation as people just couldn't get over the scale and lengths he was going to. It became clear he was going to blow every other video out of the water. By the time upload week came around, MrBeast had created his own mini trend. Squid Game might have died down, but Beast Game was here. Jimmy has proven multiple times he's not only a great creator, but also a great marketer. Even take Team C's for example. The hype he was able to build for such a good cause was incredible. And just before I give my prediction on how many views this video will get, why don't you scroll down and donate below? And if you can't afford to, just subscribe, because I'll be donating $1 for every subscriber this video gets up to 1,000 people. Just by hitting that red button, you can take a bag of trash this size out of the ocean. So with all this taken into consideration, I think MrBeast's Squid Game will be his first video to pass 200 million views, and knowing him, it won't be his last. YouTube's algorithm thinks you'll like this video next, let's see if they're right.